Hey, Joes. Aaron Moss, a.k.a. Head, a Hardman, a.k.a. Toe Tag here. Please stay tuned after this episode. Very special announcement, future of G.I. Joe, The Adventure Continues. We'll see you on the other side of this episode, guys.
This is Zartan, and you're listening to The Adventure Continues.
This is Flint, and you're listening to G.I. Joe, The Adventure Continues.
Welcome back. I know it's been a while. So, I have two maintenance things to get out of the way. There's going to be a guest star character today, created by Brian Lazzara. You'll know him when you meet him. The character's name is Storyteller, created by Brian, imagined or reimagined for me, as the base personality. And you'll see him later, so thanks to Brian for letting us borrow that. And today, if you don't remember, I'm going to attempt to kill Destro because you work for Cobra now. The new quasi-Cobra leader, Quetzalcoatl, framed you for armed robbery and maybe a murder or two, and then used that to recruit you as essentially private mercenaries. He's paying you an exorbitant fee, a few $1 million a year. I forget how much we worked that out. It was 10. And all you have to do is plot and plan and eventually kill all of the current Cobra hierarchy. So, Cobra Commander, Destro and the Baroness, Zartan, Billy. I don't remember if we included Storm Shadow, and Cobra Law was conspicuously absent from the list.
Yeah, no, Storm Shadow wasn't on the list.
But still, that's enough. So, the question I need to ask is, how long do you want to play this out? At what point do you want to turn the tables on Quetzalcoatl and clear your names and rejoin G.I. Joe, or is this the angle that you want to play for a while?
I think our last discussion is this is the angle we're going to play for a while and try to use his resources to attempt to take out some of the other Cobra hierarchy. I don't think we haven't said end it yet as far as...
Yeah, we never specified like how many campaigns or anything.
Well, even how many people are taken out. We were talking about, we're still debating that on how far we want to go before we turn the tables on them. So
yeah,
that's to be determined.
So as far as your contacts in G.I. Joe, essentially only Torque knows that you're innocent and has essentially volunteered to be like a go-between or a liaison. Because officially you're on the run and you're, public enemies in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're reasonably sure in an emergency you could probably get a hold of Boogaloo. He wouldn't, immediately hang up on you. But as far as everyone else, you don't know if Gung Ho knows or approves. And you've only had basically one meeting with Torque since your conversion. So a lot of this detail stuff is still kind of working itself out. But, officially you're criminals. Any questions about that?
Nope, pretty straightforward.
You said that we're like most wanted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Torque's not implemented, right?
No, but he was there in the city. He was your exfil contact.
Yeah.
So he knows you weren't at the bank that the footage portrays you as being at.
Oh, I knew that. I was just wondering who the 5th most wanted was.
Well.
I think he just got carried away on counting.
Yeah, I do that.
We got 4 people showing up right now, and then we got the 5th one, but he's counting. But yeah, I don't think Eric is one of the most wanted as far as Game Master Eric. Or maybe he is. Oh.
That's a nice thing to say.
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra, the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe!
This is G.I. Joe, a real American hero. The adventure continues. This is a bi-weekly G.I. Joe role-playing game where our group of Joes is continuing the never-ending battle against Cobra. Set 40 years after the organization of the original G.I. Joe group, we find a new group of Joes going up against the evil forces of Cobra. Join us on this mission as these Joes risk life and limb to stop the terrorist organization known as Cobra!
So, you are basically in, where are you? Let's put you in one of the Azores on a private island owned by someone who has distant relations to Cobra, a resort, kind of villa with a complete shooting range and helipad and even a small track to test vehicles, miles away from anybody else. This is your this is your home base. You're given full access to the island. You can requisition things from Cobra. You have a quartermaster on site who is a Cobra operative. And I guess now that I'm introducing him, he's taken the name Scrap Iron after the old demolitions expert and heavy weapons expert of Cobra, but it is not the same guy. That Scrap Iron will be 90 years old by now, and this guy's in his mid-30s. But he is also named Scrap Iron, and he worked with Kid Bash to update and kind of reconfigure your drone. Maybe you suspected him of some subtle sabotage or something because he is a Cobra guy, but everything seems to be on the up and up, and it does appear that he improved the efficiency and weapons ratings of your drone to make it bigger and better, or whatever you did to your character to update him.
Well, I have to think.
Yeah, he enjoys the challenge. So you've been here for a couple of weeks, kind of sort of formulating a plan, and basically, just to give you kind of a launching off point, Destro rarely leaves McCullen Castle in northern Scotland. He's there 11 months out of the year. April, May, he does a little tour of some of the other factories and facilities, keep everyone on their toes. But, the man is almost 90 years old and should have probably retired a while ago, but nobody tells him to do that. So that is your best point to get at him. And you've got some satellite photos and you've kind of formed a basic plan.
Does he seem to be aging well, I'll say? Like, is he, do he look like a typical 90-year-old guy, or is he is he moving around better?
He's moving around better. He walks around half bare-chested. So you can see a little bit of sagging that comes with all of us with old age. But, he's still 6'3" and weighs 250 pounds, and very little of it is fat.
Is Baroness still hot?
No.
We need a moment of silence.
Yeah. Well, they probably got kids, and, I'm sure the Baroness is only pushing 70, so maybe not totally kick out of bed worthy.
Maybe for somebody your age.
Oh, we're going there now, are we?
Hey now.
That's
So we're gonna die today.
I bet the bullet in his head. Oh.
You
Well, I feel like I should be offended by that because I'm Eric's age.
Yeah, I'll be 51 next month.
Shit, I'm older than Eric.
Yay!
I'm offended by that now.
Yeah, I'm not looking at 70-year-olds, thanks.
Hey, now, I've seen some very doable 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
Not
Freaky old broads need love
You might
too.
break a hip doing it.
Nope. Not enough gin or whiskey in the world.
I mean, look at Selma Hayek. She's almost 60, and she had a hell of a bikini shot.
So, first of all, a decade of time difference. Second of all, still no.
saying there is a decade, not a small
That's a
number.
lot of time.
We'll reconvene in 10 years and discuss.
There you go.
Okay, so basically, Scrap Iron is your new requisition officer. Requisition phases, now that you're working for Cobra, will essentially work the same way.
Real quick question about our general couple weeks here. Do we feel like we're being trailed or anything?
Yeah.
Do we know where we are in the world? Are we still kind of in this nondescript area? How trusted do we actually feel we are?
You feel pretty trusted. You are occupying a private island in the Azores.
If I wanted to order something from Amazon, would I know where to ship it?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have your own private island, like I said, in the Azores, miles away from everyone else. You have a staff. You're essentially in a really fancy Airbnb, almost a mansion, has a gun range. and a track and a helipad. You have access to a requisition officer whose name is Scrap Iron, but he's not the old Cobra Scrap Iron. He's somebody else. Is that guy? The old Cobra Scrap Iron should also be pushing like 90 now. And this guy is not 90. He's like 35, maybe 40. And he's your requisition officer for as long as you work for Cobra. So requisition phases will work essentially the same, but instead of brick, you get scrap iron.
All right, another quick question. Within the Cobra organization, is it typical for you to pay homage to somebody by taking their call sign? Or is this like this guy kind of a little bit of a weirdo who's like, okay, you think you're Scrap Iron, like, what are you doing here, buddy? Like, is somebody walking around like Firefly?
Yeah. You don't know.
Okay.
And if you don't know, the Azores are about 1,000 miles due west of Spain in the middle of the Atlantic. There are several small islands, and you get one of them all to yourself.
Okay.
So basically have a 7 or 8 year contract. I don't remember what we said. You get paid like $10 million a year, and basically you just got to kill the Cobra heads. Destro and Baroness, Cobra Commander, Billy, Zartan. We determined that Storm Shadow was not on the list, and the Cobra Law people are suspiciously absent from the list. But if you can kill those 5 guys, your contract with Quetzalcoatl will be fulfilled. So anyway, it's been a few weeks. You're assembling your plan to go kill Destro. He basically never leaves McCullen Castle anymore, 11 months out of the year. And he takes 5-6 weeks to go visit some other factories and things. So he's been at McCullen Castle for a couple of months, and that's probably your best place to get at him. You know, you have current photos of him and the Baroness, so you kind of know what he looks like, and that he's still built, and he doesn't really look like a 90-year-old. And neither does the Baroness, really. I mean, she's got her hair's gone all gray, and she's a little wrinkly in the face, but she's still fairly fit. Yeah, but officially, according to G.I. Joe records, she's 89, but she really looks maybe 60, 65. And Destro also looks amazing. You know, it looks like he could still play, you know, some semi-pro ball or something, and he is 90.
You said that they probably have kids. Do we know anything about their kids?
There are a few McCullens, one of which is Alexander, who actually exists in G.I. Joe lore, and is essentially the general of the Iron Grenadiers. He and the Baroness had 2 children together. The Alexander kid was pre-Baroness, and he's like 50, but he's still fit. He has the gold helmet. I know he exists in canon. The other guys will have to kind of make up. But did you want to know specific things about the children, or just that they exist?
Just kind of that they exist and whatever like involvement they have in the system.
As far as you can tell, only Alexander is involved in the family business.
And they are not on our target list.
Correct.
But what are our rules on collateral damage?
Well, technically you're bad guys now. I don't think such rules exist.
I'm just making sure it's not part of our contract.
Oh, the contract only stipulates that basically Destro and the Baroness need to die, but yeah, there's no leaving of the bonuses if you kill innocent people. Not that anyone at McCullen Castle would be innocent at this point.
Okay.
Seems like they would want them dead so there's no blowback.
Unless Quetzalcoatl has agreements with somebody.
Right, and that's what I want to make sure I'm not crossing over.
Yeah.
Or if we are doing it.
Yeah, and you could have even sent an email just making sure, and those kinds of questions are never answered.
So here's a question. Do they just want it done, or do they want it to look like G.I. Joe did it, or somebody else?
I just want it done.
Okay.
You guys were tapped because you have the willingness and the opportunity and, you know, the little bit of underlying skullduggery that you're being framed for a crime that you didn't commit. So you don't really have a timeline. You're still assembling intel on Destro, on McCullen Castle, on the inner workings of Mars Industry. But you get an email. All of you get an email by someone who simply calls himself or signs off the emails as a storyteller. He says he's going to be in London in like a week, and he has useful intelligence about Destro and McCullen Castle.
Hit Bash, you want to run back all the information you can find off of this thing?
I can do that.
All right. have some foreshadowing knowledge that we're probably not going to find anything out, but we should do our due diligence.
Give me some sort of roll. You tell me what you're going to roll.
Well, how about technology?
Okay. Now, how are you justifying that?
Well, I'm basically going into a computer system, tracing the emails back, trying to find out anything I can about the sender. What is that, technology?
Yeah, that'll work.
And that's a 24.
Okay. The email is untraceable. He bounces it off so many satellites, you're a little surprised he knows where it came from. But some additional digging. The Storyteller is an independent operative and is an information broker, but he plays both sides. He has sold information to G.I. Joe before, and he regularly sells information to Cobra. He claims neutrality, and his big tagline is the information that you get is 100% accurate when he gives it to you. But, shifting morales and shifting world political associations doesn't always mean that the information is correct when you act on it.
Sure. Is he anyone that I spent time with in my past lives?
You've heard the name. I don't think you've had any actual dealings with him. He's a little high end.
Okay, that works.
So basically, he's a mercenary of information.
Yep, we've got time. Might be worth our time to see what he has to say. We've got access to money, so we can pay for information. I think it's worth doing. And if he fucks us over, we just kill him.
Yep, I agree.
Good.
Sounds good.
Send an email back accepting the meet. He gives you a time, next Monday in London. He gives you an address, which is a 5-star hotel. And he gives you a time, which is London local time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, no, let's make it 4 o'clock so we can do tea. It'll be fun.
Okay.
All right. So I guess the question is, do you want to gear up, get the information from Storyteller, and then go hit Destro, or do you want to just go meet Storyteller?
Feel like we should have some gear on us.
Yeah, I think if we're gearing up to go see Storyteller, not gearing up to go after Destro.
Yes.
And I don't know that I'm even thinking a lot of gear, but, I just don't want to be walking around naked.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be extensive, but we'll do a regular requisition phase.
I think maybe only 2 of us actually need to go to the meet, and the other 2 should be at vantage points.
Oh, for sure. And he'll probably have people watching his back. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
So who are you thinking goes?
I'm not saying I'm going to do a great job at it, but is supposedly what my spy character should be able to do.
Yeah. Erik's character and my character are probably the ones that should be doing it.
Okay, sounds good.
And yeah, that leaves technology and shootiness to the people who do technology and shootiness.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. All right. Dels, you're first on the list of people in the voice channel, so you can go first.
My next character name is going to be Zebra, by the way. Okay, so I definitely want some audio bugs, video bugs, bug sweepers. This is all just gear.
Okay.
As well as a jammer.
Okay.
That is what I would like as far as gear goes.
All that stuff's gear, so it's essentially free.
Want me to roll to see how many bugs I have or anything like that, or how you feeling today?
Yeah, that's probably a good way to handle that. What did we roll last time?
Oh, that is more than 3 days ago, so I do not remember.
Amen, brother. Okay, roll a d6 then. That's fine.
4.
Okay.
So divide up audio and bugs and video bugs by 4, or?
No, that can be 1. Audio or video?
Audio.
Okay, roll again for video.
4 again. I'll take it. Bug sweeper, just writing this stuff down.
Yep.
And then a jammer.
Jammer.
I am going to take a submachine gun, like a silenced one.
Okay.
I believe I forgot the term, but I get it. Like I don't have to roll for that one. Qualified, there's the word. So just like an Uzi style, like a small submachine gun. Nothing big and bulky, something I can hide under this disguise I'm about to put together. For battle dress, I would like, I want it to look like regular clothing, something that's not going to stick out. But I don't know if I can like do an upgrade to that, like an impulse armor, but with that looks like clothing. How would that work out? Is there any way to enhance just regular street clothes?
Yeah, I don't know if we can get to impulse armor, but yeah, you can armor up regular street clothes.
I mean, typically I would go for impulse armor. That's the light armor with evasion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least to me it does.
It's computerized, though. That's the only thing. Like, how are you going to make it?
Well, that's not use. So yeah, I understand.
If I just have to go in there, just clothing, that'd make more sense. Like the John Wick tuxedo, whatever that is. Or we want to call that thing.
Precious?
What type of battle dress are you qualified in?
Going on back, I think just light. Don't believe I'm qualified in anything special for armor. Battle dress. I'm qualified and trained in light. You are trained in light armor and qualified in tactical armor.
So the only thing you actually get guaranteed will be tactical.
Which is +1 toughness, which if I ever do a toughness roll, I'm going to die anyways. So that's why I'm trying to get some impulse.
All right. Well, this is G.I. Joe. If we can't stretch the bounds of reality, then what good is playing this stupid game? So.
Well, we're all done then.
All right. So regular clothes is automatic. Light impulse armor is limited. Let's go prototype. So if you can make a 20, you can have all of the good stuff that impulse armor gives you, and it looks like a hoodie and some blue jeans.
Whoa. I'm way more classy than that.
My apologies.
I'm thinking, a nice pressed pair of jeans with a sports jacket, maybe even some leather patches on the elbows. I'm super classy like that.
And you hold your pinky up, too.
It is tea time.
So,
okay.
I forget, what am I adding to this die roll for armor acquisition? Would die. Would this be a social thing?
You have to roll. You have to make a skill check to use.
I can't use deception for that. Could I use infiltration? For weapons, it's always targeting and stuff like that.
Yeah. The classification is light armor, and that's usually the skill on the weapons that you use. I'm not sure. What do you think you should roll, gentlemen?
Infiltration. That's a great idea.
Or finesse.
Yeah, seeing how he's trying to hide it, what it is, I would say either finesse or infiltration. Sounds good to me.
All right. That'll work. Roll infiltration. Got to hit a 20.
All right. 14 is not going to do it. I think this is the most important thing, so I'm going to ask him to sharpen his pencil. I'll do one more search for that. It's even less available.
You keep on, you're going to be next.
I can always get clothes. That's automatic. Yeah, I'm going to look again because there's no benefit for me getting tactical. So, hey, 22. Well, at least I got some clothes. I got my sub. I'm also going to take a pistol, like a 911.
Yeah, you still have your standard loadout. So everybody's got a pistol. Everybody's got a long arm. Everybody's got a melee weapon. Everybody's got 2 grenades.
Yep. I think that's all I need then. Just meeting somebody.
Kit Bash, you're up.
Joy. Okay. Battle dress, I am qualified in impulse armor, so...
Okay, this is going to be... I know we haven't played in a while, and we're all a little rusty, so I'm throwing you a GM freebie. Keep in mind that if you show up in full battle armor with heavy weapons, he's probably not going to be real chatty.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be visible.
No, you're the hanging back guy?
Yeah, I'm one of the two that's hanging back.
My stuff's all hidden in my clothing. He's sneaky.
Are we good with the two of us being geared up in case there's an issue?
I'm hoping to Joe Pesci we're fine with it because that's what I'm planning on.
Okay.
What I do.
Okay, so I'm going to take the impulse armor and my 1911 pistol, my M4. Okay, let me see what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm sure we all have comms, right?
No.
We don't have comms?
HBT is no longer available to you.
Cobra ain't got a comm system?
Real shitty one. It's Cobra.
Okay. I don't know what this thing's called. I need some kind of listening device. The little thing with the, looks like the umbrella that you hold up and shit, so you can eavesdrop, hear what's going on in a conversation.
Shotgun microphone. I don't know what they call it in the game, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need a way to hear the conversation.
All we need to do is make sure that we all have a radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, oddly enough, I'm not seeing anything like that in here.
No, there isn't.
What I was lost with. I guess they wasn't expecting us to be without HBT.
And you're tech enough, you could probably rig something based off the basic design, but that's a separate thing.
Okay.
Let's do the regular requisition now, and you just have to deal with the limitation.
Okay.
Although, I keep forgetting, the one other little piece of business that we should have attended to at the beginning is My Little Pony. Because the core rulebook for that game is out, and it's as colorful as you imagine, but it does introduce magic rules to the Renegade Essence D20 system. So, you can be a magic user if you want to be a magic user, or make up a side character that's a magic user. Magic technically can now exist in G.I. Joe, and I'm thinking about a bad guy. Just throwing that out there. I apologize for the interruption. Go ahead.
I'd like to requisition an anti-magic gun.
I always knew that Crystal Ball was your favorite character.
Hey, let's not disregard Crystal Ball.
Okay. Okay, so my 2 grenades.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to expand that a little bit.
Okay.
For one of them, I'm going to take a smart grenade. Page 144.
Thank you. Smart grenade. Targeting side explosive. Remote grenade. Technology advanced grenade designed to lock onto a target. Okay, 1 element.
Now, I know it's restricted, but under weapon training, which is a general perk, you're qualified in 3 limited weapons or 1 restricted weapon.
Okay. You want your 1 restricted weapon to be smart grenades?
No, remember, can't do that.
Okay.
Because I'm already using 2 limited. Okay. So for one of the grenades, I'll use an element grenade, EMT bomb.
Okay. And the grenade is limited. You get that for free, or do you have to roll?
No, I'm qualified in that.
Okay. All right. So you got that.
Basically, I'm qualified in everything that I need. You said I'd have to create the listening device. Give me a med kit just in case we get in trouble.
Okay. Done.
I'm good.
All right. Easy enough. Greystone.
All right, here we go. Medkit standard, plastic restraints, crowbar, bolt cutter, binoculars, tactical radio, which is going to allow me to dial into local police net, jammer, cell interceptor, blue jack, glow sticks, restricted disguise kit, pistol with a flashlight, laser sight, blade, and a civilian hunting shotgun, double barrel, sawed off on the barrel and the handle, and then tactical armor, toughness with a stealth modifier. And one other thing, possibly. Of all of that, the only thing I think I have to roll for is the restricted disguise kit and the tactical armor.
Okay.
Because of the up.
Yep.
Feel underdressed.
That's what I was thinking a little bit, but
Well, most of that stuff that I'm taking is going to go in just a duffel bag, a satchel bag that I can carry.
Yeah. And it's all gear, so you can have essentially unlimited requisition.
no, but if I took all that, where would I put my cigars? I mean, yeah, I just don't have space.
You didn't requisition the duffel bag.
Oh, I already have one. I'm using my personal one. Well, I rolled a natural 20 on the disguise kit.
Okay. So if there's one thing above the restricted disguise kit, you can have that.
There isn't. And then I got a 17 for the upgrade on the armor. The other thing I want is a green box weapons cache. It's a piece of gear.
Okay.
And honestly, that's probably where all of this stuff that I want is located.
Okay. So Cobra has a rather vast network outside of the United States. So they will put the green box 1 floor below where you're supposed to meet Storyteller.
That works. That's it, man.
Easy enough. Hardman.
A little warm out here. Okay, so for my standard equipment, I'm taking my my pistol. I'm switching out my rifle for a shotgun. I am taking a frag and a concussion grenade, my knife. I am qualified in all armor. Anything I'm qualified in, I get without requisitioning. So I'm taking an exoskeleton, if I can speak. It's on page 155 for my requisitions. Yes,
Keep
sir.
in mind, it's got a Cobra symbol on it.
That's fine.
Did you just get a snake?
No, that would actually be an exoskeleton. It's probably in the Cobra book coming out. And then for my requisitions, I'm going to take a heavy machine gun. It's on page 144.
Okay.
That is, that's restricted. So what does that roll? That is a...
Restricted's a 10. Oh, restricted's a 15. I'm sorry.
Okay. We got a total, 21.
Okay. It's yours.
Taking an ammo belt, 148. That's a standard.
Okay.
And a standard med kit.
Okay.
And for gear, that takes up my requisitions. I'm taking for my gear, I want to take a radio scanner, plastic restraints, and I think that's it.
All right. So be it.
I'm sure I'm missing something, but I'll make do with what I have.
That's where I get my fun.
Got gun and armor. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So Greystone and Dells are going to go inside the London Hilton Hotel. Very posh, very 5-star. It is 14 floors. Storyteller has rented out the entire 11th floor. That's where you'll be meeting at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday. That's tea time. The green box is on the 10th floor in the lobby right off the elevator, so it's hard to miss. When do you want to get there? What precautions do you want to take?
I'm going to get there for brekkie.
Okay. We're going to add an extra story point to the pool for the immediate usage of slang. I appreciate your effort.
Hardman, where are we setting up?
So what's around where we're at?
Well, you're basically downtown London. So there's 4 or 5 square blocks where there are multiple high-story buildings.
Is there a hotel or something nearby?
Yeah, there are several on this block.
I'm thinking take a hotel in that area that's looking at the restaurant.
Yeah, it's not a restaurant.
Or
He's inviting you basically to the penthouse suite, even though it's not the tippy top floor. It's the top 4 floors of this Hilton are penthouse suite. So you rent out the whole floor. Storyteller has the 11th.
okay. So you said high tea. I'm thinking for some reason restaurant, just because I'm a stupid American. So hotel near the Hilton, another hotel near the Hilton.
Okay.
Get access view to it is what I'm thinking.
I don't think we need to be on the roof, but maybe have a room there on the 11th floor. Maybe have a room like on the 12th, 13th, so we got a downward angle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the 12th, maybe the 12th. 'Cause we want
Yeah.
12th floor, so we can see into that area.
Sure.
And we'll get set up there.
All right. Easy enough. Parabolic mics and stuff can be all set up to your heart's content.
I try to make it easy. I try to help the GM as much as possible. Just remember that when the shooting starts. Oh.
What do I need to roll to set up a listening device?
Why don't you make a technology roll?
Oh, that's too easy. Give it to me.
See how generous I am?
Okay.
Don't tell them it's too easy. Next time I'll make you even harder. Come on.
And that is a 26.
Okay. State-of-the-art hookup, laser vibration sensors on the windows, all the really cool Mission Impossible spy gear crap.
But no umbrella.
Umbrellas are so, 2019.
That's better than the tin can with a rope in between.
A couple steps above that. There is some interference. So he has some sort of jammer or something set up. You're still getting a pretty good bead, but it's not like 100%.
Okay.
All right, Dells and Greystone, what are you doing?
Since I'm there for brekkie, I'm going to find some family that's eating or whatever and just kind of sit by them. At some point in the meal, overhear something that I can interject myself into their conversation. Being Mr. Friendly,
Sure.
Get that charisma going on.
Are you having room service? Because I didn't think this was a restaurant.
Well, most hotels have a restaurant in the floor of them, that you can get your meal in the morning.
Yeah.
Obviously.
What's the ultimate goal of the conversation interruption?
Well, the intent is to potentially build up a little bit of a face around the hotel, right? So people recognize me a little bit, maybe even think of me as a decent human being.
I see. Okay.
So build some rapport with the staff, with the other visitors, other people, some tourists maybe. Just kind of be known.
Okay.
Be seen, be known, that kind of thing.
So I'm going to need a deception or a performance or a persuade check.
Sure, I think we're persuading them for future considerations.
So let's go. The standard difficulty is 15. And for every 3 points you can manage on that, you will get a +1 to any social interactions that you have to make later.
Alrighty. I've got a D4 and an expertise there, so a D8.
Okay.
That is a 23.
Nice. So I said it was 15 plus 3, so that's 18, 21, 24. So you got a +3 bonus.
I'll take it.
And I'll even let you chop that up. So if you want to make a roll, and this is social only, remember. But if you want to take a roll at +1, you'll save up the +2, so you can spend the +3 however you like.
And that is a hard number, or is that a upshift?
Those are upshifts.
Oh, exciting.
You can add them however you want.
Sounds good.
Airstone, what are you doing?
At the appropriate time, I will go to the room on the 10th floor. I will use the radio just to listen in on local chatter, what's going on in the area with law enforcement.
Okay.
Comms check with the rest of the team. And then I will use the disguise kit to adorn a basic disguise. I'm not looking for something fancy. I'm looking for something that if they run facial recognition software on me, they're not going to pick up who I am.
Okay. kits.
Guess I went with the hiding in plain sight mode.
Yep.
Either one's good. I just, this is my background, so I'm kind of swinging into it.
You could have just put on a Can't See Me shirt and dressed as John Cena.
Oh no, I am dressed in typical European fashion of dark colors and conservative cuts. I aim to look like them.
Okay.
We can always do like a disguise roll later if it comes up.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right. And we're approaching the 4 o'clock hour. How are you two meeting up?
He can probably just meet me in the room or whatever this is that I'm in.
Sure. I'm actually planning on showing up a little bit late to the meeting.
Oh, okay.
5-10 minutes.
All right. Well, then I will load all my gear into my bag and slip on my jacket, my sunglasses, and put my pistol under my shoulder, and I will head up to the meeting at the appropriate time.
I will give you your choice of intimidation or streetwise.
I guess intimidation.
Okay.
21.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So when the elevator door opens up, there is a giant Rottweiler standing right there in the lobby, right in front of the elevator door. His teeth are bared, but he's not actually growling.
Is it just the two of us?
So far, your eyes are kind of, automatically drawn to the big deadly dog, but
I will slowly take a step off the elevator, but leave my bag that's in my left hand. I will leave it back so that it blocks the elevator from closing.
Okay.
And wait to see what the dog does.
It lets you step off. It even takes a step to the side to give you room.
Okay.
Like I said before, it maintains kind of a snarly face, but it's not actually growling or doing anything.
Okay. Now I will look to see if there's anyone else here with me.
Okay. There is another Rottweiler, apparently a twin to the first one, kind of off the lobby into what is essentially the living area of the penthouse. And you can see the silhouette of a man behind the bar on the far side of the room. So he's probably every bit of 40 or 50 feet away from you.
Okay. Let the elevator shut and walk in the direction.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Please come in. Good
evening.
I respect the English culture of tea, but would you prefer something else?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
So be it. Picks up a saucer with a teacup on it. How do you take yours, sir?
Black.
He comes around. First thing you notice about him is his right arm is cybernetic.
Okay.
Mid-40s, kind of hair that's long but just barely touches his shoulders. Moderately handsome as far as men go. Dressed in a nice suit, but his jacket is off and his sleeves are rolled up.
Okay.
He also has his right eye is either cybernetic or he's wearing something on top of it because it's got some like machinery thing going on. He comes out, he offers you the tea. He walks back over to the bar and picks up like a whiskey glass filled with some brown liquor. And he says, "Is there anyone else joining us today?"
Yes, he'll be here moment. He was caught up in traffic.
I'll probably roll in, like I said, about 5 minutes after.
Okay.
Eric, are these cybernetic parts chrome or are they more just high tech?
Just high tech, not specifically gaudy, clearly mechanical.
Okay. Well, then I will await my business partner.
Okay. And he makes some pleasant small talk, kind of starts vague, sports, weather. And then as soon as you seem to react to anything, he zeroes in on that.
Let's go with local politics.
Okay. He knows the broad strokes, MPs, House of Commons, who the representatives locally are, any major news things that, 5 minutes of research this morning could have told you.
Right. Okay. I'm mostly doing the same thing he is, and that is entertaining him to get a feel for him.
All right. Why don't you give me some sort of social roll to get a bead on him? I'll let you pick what you want to roll.
All right. Social. How did you bluffing?
Bluffing is a social skill?
Yep. I'm sorry. It's part of deception.
Oh, okay.
Remind me, what am I adding to this dice roll? My social essence?
Yes. It's a D20 plus whatever dots you have in bluff.
Yep. Okay. 21, and it's not combat, so I don't think there's a critical, but otherwise it would also be a critical.
Okay. So he's a professional information broker. He's being explicitly neutral, trying to get even the littlest bit of information about you. You got to feed him something, or he'll be kind of on to the ruse. But you can do whatever you want. Like the local London politics, he seems to pick up on, and as you're discussing a couple of points of interest, you can tell he's cataloging how proficient you are for his files or whatever.
Okay. So one of my, what is this under? Background bits of information is that I pick up on local accents very quickly. And one of the places I formerly lived was Russia. So I will use a slight Russian accent to add some flavor to my stories and discuss things probably related to the Northern Sea and oil trade, because those would be things of interest to someone who was dealing with information and expensive things.
Sure.
And it's a common topic now.
And he is actually pretty happy to switch over to that.
Yeah, I'll just link it somehow to something stupid that a politician did.
Yeah, and that's not hard. Right. And then the elevator door opens and Dells steps off.
Oof. Sorry I'm late, guys. This elevator wasn't coming down to me for some reason. So would have been here earlier, but hey, luckily I was able to find this great Live East ale that man, I've been drinking it all day. It's delicious. Here, I got a little 6-pack for us here, so we all have one, right? We can talk some business. Again, sorry I'm late. The elevator trouble. I don't know what happened. It was weird. Just wouldn't come down to the bottom floor for me.
Nothing of it, sir. He gladly accepts an ale from you. He's in the middle of a whiskey, so he sets it aside for the moment. Introductions are made all around. I guess, are we giving our real names, our code names, other fake names? How are we doing that?
So I'd like to use a story point to do surface read. When meeting somebody, you can spend a story point to roll your alertness skill and ask the GM a number of yes or no questions about that person equal to the skill's die result.
Okay.
So I'd like to do that now.
So what are you rolling?
I roll a d4.
Okay.
So I roll my alertness roll, and then I get that number of yes or no questions, and I rolled a 4.
Okay. You also have to succeed on the roll, so it was a d20. Oh, no. You're spending a story point.
Yeah, it's a story point to roll your alertness skill die.
Okay. All right. I get it. All right. So 4 questions. Go ahead.
Okay. So first question is, does he know we work for Cobra? Is that how he contacted us?
Yes.
All right. Oh, I have to do this yes or no. Do we know how many years he's been an informant for Cobra?
No.
Okay. Those are really what I cared about. Does he seem to recognize or feel comfortable around us?
Yes.
Do the dogs seem to favor him now that they're relaxed? Like, are they hanging out underfoot from him? Are they positioned? Does he seem to be more comfortable when the dogs are by him? There we go. That's the question.
Unknown. The dogs have not been by him yet. The dogs appear to be flanking you.
Flanking.
Yeah. So, you're sitting on the couch. You can sit on separate couches. That's fine. Storyteller positions himself kind of at the head of the area. He's sitting on a chair between you and the bar. All right. So he has 2 dogs with him, giant Rottweilers that are drooling constantly and, being dogs. But if Storyteller is at the 12 o'clock position and you 2 are occupying somewhere between 2 and 3 and 9 and 10, the dogs are at 4:30 and 7:30.
I'll partake in the conversation that's happening once, obviously I've made my entrance. And
sure.
I wouldn't say I'm giving the airs of complete inebriation, but I may be portraying that I have had Live East Ale all afternoon.
Okay.
I'm not actually drunk. I don't know if I need to put a button on that, but there's a bit of a performance going on.
Well, make a performance roll then.
Or a deception, I should say. It's technically performance. Be a 16.
Okay. You're pretty sure you're believable? No, he doesn't spurn you. He envelops you in the conversation to make sure you feel like you're participating. But maybe there's an odd blink that would indicate that he's a little uncomfortable, or that he's pressing you because you might be drunk and would give away an extra nugget or 2.
He knows that we have a tie through Cobra, right? So we already know that.
Yep.
So making reference to my dealings with Extensive Enterprises, potentially revealing to him some of the history I've had, just enough to kind of let him know that I'm a real person, right? That I've had some troubles, but now I'm on, Cobra. the team and whatnot.
What's your goal there? What do you want?
I want him to trust me more. Just kind of weaving my web of spyitude.
Okay.
And I'll be using a Russian legend, not any of my other names.
So let's do, just for the general course of the conversation, let's do general deception, opposed. So we're all three going to roll deception unless you can make a really good argument for something else. And he's going to roll. And whoever gets the highest roll basically wins and will get a nugget or two of information about the other people that you don't mean to portray.
So is this related to bluffing then?
Can be, sure.
Okay. Because I don't think it's related to disguise, so.
I'll be using 2 of my upshifts so that I can get a D10.
Okay.
Nice. Both of you don't need to bother to roll.
Oh, I didn't roll great.
I got you, Bay. 31 and a critical on 2 dice.
Oh.
And the 20 was a natural, but the 20 doesn't count towards criticals.
I mean, I got an 18.
Okay.
I feel like I was pretty convincing, but...
Yeah, he also got an 18, so he didn't do a half-bad job. All right, Derek, you can ask one question.
Why is he doing this?
Knowledge is power.
So he's showing off?
Not yet, but his entire attitude and everything that he has done so far in the 15 minutes that you've been here, it is the express intent of gathering information about you.
So he wants info on us more so than he wants to give up the info that he already has.
Not even necessarily, but information on you is only going to benefit him in the future if he has to deal with you again.
Okay. This is his shtick. This is what he likes doing. We're at his party, and he's just happy as can be about all this.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. He's not being altruistic, so, hey, I can deal with that.
Okay. So, pleasantries are out of the way. Drinks are set aside. He says, I have, people, contacts, who keep me informed about the goings-on. I've heard there's a new player on Cloverfield. All I know about him is his code name. It says Quetzalcoatl. So, I assume, gentlemen, since you are in town hunting Destro, and even though I'm doing an incredibly piss-poor job, his accent is very much Texan, even though all I can do is vaguely Southern. So, I think we can make a deal. I happen to have extensive knowledge of the Cullen family estate and the comings and goings of Herr Destro himself, as well as the Baroness and most of their children. And I would gladly exchange this information for 5 minutes of frank conversation about Mr. Quetzalcoatl himself.
I'll give the old sly wink of or just eyebrow raise to my partner here, and just seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. I will say okay, and I will look at my watch, note the time, and just look at this dude and see what he has to say.
Okay.
I'm going to not have any poker face about wanting to accept this. I want him to feel like he's giving us a great bargain, where I'm just excited and can be not over the top as schoolgirl about it, but just happy and allow him to see that I'm pleased with the agreement.
Yeah, I'll wait for Storyteller to say something, go in a direction.
Quetzalcoatl is a Latin American, Central American flying serpent. I understand the theme, but is Mr. Quetzalcoatl Latin American?
Remind me, Eric, have we met him?
You've met him several times, or at least twice, but he's wore full body armor both times. You never saw any skin.
Okay.
We are unable to confirm that information. His
regalia
remind one of Cobra Commander.
Seems to be a pretty good cross between Cobra Commander and Serpentor. A little bit more tightly armored like Cobra Commander, but green and gold like Serpentor's colors.
Yeah.
I mean, along those lines.
Definitely way more reasonable than either of them.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking a cross between, he doesn't have the ego problem that Serpentor had before I killed him. And, Cobra Commander's just a dumbass. So, you're setting your bar pretty low there. I think you're in a good spot.
Well, he pays some of the bills, but his eyes open wide fraction of his moment when you say you're the one that killed Serpentor. So he's made note of that.
Job.
Good.
So, and there's some general stuff, does he have inroads in any existing Cobra sub-organization? Does he control the Iron Grenadiers, or does he have inroads into the Crimson Guard, or,
Oh, he's a complete outsider. He's forcing his way in. He's going to be a problem for some people.
Most of the other leaders of the organization, and he actually reaches up and does the air quotes when he says leaders, have an organization that's essentially loyal to them. It seems a bold, if a little bit stupid move, if Quetzalcoatl doesn't have anyone.
Well, I mean, he's us.
You, really?
Sure. I mean, if his money's in the right place.
Sure.
Hey, he's got money, he's got funding.
We're flexible. He's got a couple of good-looking daughters,
We're going to be
too.
super frank and honest with all of our dealings with him. At least I am. Just tell him all the things that we know about the guy.
Oh, I'm just making sure.
I'm making sure that nothing seems like I'm hiding something back, is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. No.
Yeah, it's just, this, that. This is just three dudes talking around beer or whatever. I'm not pausing. I'm just going to keep stretching this out.
And that's fine.
Because I really don't know a lot about the guy.
So basically what I need the two of you to do is make either performance or deception checks. And your difficulty is going to be 16. And this is to avoid contradicting each other.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Can I use Outwit? Standard action can target an enemy who can see or hear you with a deception skill test to stun them for one turn, or an intimidation skill test to make them flee for one round. What I'm thinking of here is, through all of this, can I use this kind of an ability to wear down his ability to see through our lies?
Okay.
Or use Razor Tongue, which allows me to do damage against their cleverness defense.
I'll give you your choice. But if you fail any of your Razor Tongue rolls, he's going to understand that you're kind of in social combat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So I'll make that roll now.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 21 with 3 criticals.
Correct.
Which, if that makes it a success and a critical, it means that that means nothing. I guess it would mean it would be a +2 damage to his cleverness defense.
Yeah.
And then, let's make our deception or whatever rolls to live it up.
So target numbers is 16. You both have to make it. If either one of you fails, at some point the failure guy will contradict the other guy in a way that will be noticeable. But the Razor Tongue was successful, so you're each going to get +2 to your roll.
To upshift or +2 to the result?
+2 to the result.
Thank you. 24 to criticals.
Okay, well, I rolled a... Oh, wait, I might have something.
If not, you can spend a story point to reroll.
Look. Oh, thank goodness. That's a 17.
Does that include your +2?
No, it doesn't. So 19.
Sweet.
Yeah, thanks goodness for Silver Tongue, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
You just weave a wide tale. Maybe 1 in 8 things that you mention about Quetzalcoatl might vaguely be true. But he is noting everything. He seems to be especially focused on who his allies and enemies are inside the Cobra organization. Understanding the fact that generally everyone is his enemy because he's trying to take over. But, you got to have allies somewhere, and he's really trying to suss out who that is.
Okay.
You guys can feed him an entire line of bullshit. You're reasonably sure that you've got him on the hook between the two of you.
All right.
Once the 5 minutes are up, he's the one that cuts the conversation off at the end of the 5 minutes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He says, I appreciate the fun facts, but, a deal's a deal. We have reached the end of our 5-minute allotted time. If you would like to go on, we can certainly credit your account.
Sure, we'll give you 3 more questions.
Yeah, sure. He opens the bottle of beer that you brought in, takes a sip from it, puts it down, wanders up back by the bar, and says, I appreciate your generosity. Give me just a moment to phrase this correctly. Can I refill your glasses, gentlemen?
I haven't touched.
Yeah, he understands that. He's just being polite.
I'll crack open one of my known one. The stuff I brought, not his.
Right. So you are after Destro. I assume. Well, we've essentially established that it's at the behest of Quetzalcoatl. So he is consolidating power and eventually going to be the new head of the Cobra organization. I take it he is unimpressed by the Hydra aspect of the current group. He's trying to reassemble everyone essentially under one banner like Cobra Commander did in the beginning.
Yeah, he believes that's the most effective way. Or is that not the question?
I will make a comment about how he's doing it in a manner that Lenin would be proud of.
Has he revealed any of his ambitions beyond consolidation?
Truthfully, I can't remember if he has.
Not to us.
Sure. I imagine he's still probably testing your loyalty.
Someone is.
So this doesn't have to be a Quetzalcoatl question. This can be a bonus question. And I'll double the rate if you answer it. Are you really working for him, or are you undercover for G.I. Joe?
There's a reason we're not in the States, bud.
I've seen the news. I've seen the news. I understand what's going on, but I also been very suspicious of the footage of you robbing the bank.
I think it looks like us.
Yeah, well, it looks like you. I don't think it is you. I just don't know if you planted it or if he planted it.
I would say neither of us planted. And I'll let you read that, Will.
Yeah, I'll tell him that, yeah, I'm working for Axolotl. At Axolotl, the other thing. You know, I'm a little inebriated. I got some brown ale.
Can't even bring up a proper lager, can you?
Not when there's live yeast ale around here. Oh, man, that stuff is so good.
Well, gentlemen, if nothing else, I appreciate your participation. Now, we have come to the reciprocal portion of our evening. How can I help you?
You said you had ways to get into dealings with McCullen Castle, and we'd like to have your dossier on it.
I have the ultimate little tidbit for you. And he reaches back behind the bar and pulls out, the ever-present manila folder. He grabs 4 copies and sets them down in front of you. They're each marked with your G.I. Joe code names.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it says that during your observations of McCullen Castle, you're going to notice a 15-minute window where you'll be able to sneak onto the grounds at 3 o'clock. This is a daily thing. It happens to coincide with the changing of the guard shift. It is a ruse. So at 3 o'clock, the guards go in to finish up their paperwork or whatever, and don't reemerge until 3:15. So that would be an obvious window for you to sneak onto the grounds, as long as you can evade the electronic surveillance. But the 15-minute window is a ruse, because at 3 o'clock, all the guards go inside, because from 3 to 3:10 is when Destro tests out all of his experimental weaponry and robots and drones and things by releasing them onto the grounds and killing anything that moves. So from 3 to 3:10, nothing on the grounds moves. But there is a sub window from 3:12 to 3:15 when the drones are settling back in their perches and the guards have not yet emerged from their various housings to restart their patrols, where you can actually sneak onto the ground. The prominent point is not to go at 3 o'clock when you're going to observe that it happens, but to wait until 3:12 when you have a real window.
Okay.
He does some other things, best way to sneak out is, the McCullen estate is 40 acres on the north side of Scotland, or the northeast side. Best way to get in is directly from the west. He gives you a couple of landmarks. About 50 yards past the ground border is a small guard shack that the guards regularly use to hide from the drones and things. That guard shack is usually only manned by 3 people, which is the least amount, because the one off from the main road. So in the perimeter of McCullen Castle, the main road has a shit ton of guards on it, because that's where all the tanks and stuff are going to attack from. So past that perimeter, the first guard shack is this vulnerable one. It's a small shack. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's only 3 guards there. If you go in there, you have 3 minutes to take out those 3, sometimes 4 guys. If you can get past them, you're onto the grounds.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for all your time and information.
Gentlemen, it was my genuine pleasure. And he shakes both of your hands, and he snaps his fingers twice, and the dogs kind of change demeanors, and they become slobbering, friendly puppies. They give you headbutts for pets and all the usual dog stuff.
Okay.
They get no pets from me.
Monster.
And that's the extent of the knowledge we're getting, correct?
Well, he's not above a question or two. You've been most helpful today.
Is Baroness also on site?
Yeah. The Baroness and Destro are essentially always together now.
And the children?
Andrew is really the only one you have to worry about. There's no credible intelligence on the other two, Marco and Julie, that they are involved in family business at all, and I can verify that they are not currently on the continent.
Good to know.
Just out of curiosity, are they more involved with the fact that the Baroness is who she is and not with the McCullen family?
No, they regularly swing about the McCullen name. They're just not involved in weapons design or research or the industry as a whole. Marco is a lawyer, and Julie is a photographer.
Oh.
Because, I mean, as far as the world cares, the McCullens are just scumbags. They're not bad, like criminals.
Correct. And does he know if there is anyone on the inside who would greatly benefit from Destro taking a bullet?
The most obvious candidate would be Andrew.
True, but I don't think he has it in him to do it.
Doubtful. He probably would have done it by now.
Mm-hmm.
He does have an inner council, kind of elder scientists and weapons manufacturers that would probably get something out of it, but I confess my files on them are incomplete.
Okay.
Although I am still assembling my files, but I understand that you were on Cobra Island during the recent outbreak, and I do know for a fact that Dr. Vermin is Destro's personal virologist. He is on that board.
Is he now?
Well, to come across him, I'd have to kill him just out of spite. He is more dangerous potentially than Destro.
I agree.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes it just needs to be done.
Yes, sir.
I agree.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Thank you for your time. I've got a plane to catch, so I'm going to skedaddle. I will look at my traveling partner. Are you on the same flight back that I'm on, or are you on your own?
Yeah, I'm on the flight with you.
Okay.
But if we get there, there's a happy hour at that little pub at the bar. I think they got the good stuff.
I believe I did see that, so we should probably get you there.
As a good host would, he walks you to the elevator and says, should you survive your upcoming incursion, I would welcome and gladly credit your accounts with further conversation on the inner workings of Mr. McCullen's business.
Naturally.
Oh, sure. Our account. What is the balance of our account, by the way? Just curious.
Do you want it in dollars and cents?
Well, just wondering if we're indebted to you or opposite. There's been a lot of questions today.
No. I would consider you, and you'll have to pardon my estimate because I do not have my formulas in front of me, but you're just shy of $10,000 to the positive for yourself. Keep in mind, though, gentlemen, I am very expensive.
Understood.
Pleasure. He offers to shake both of your hands.
No.
I'll definitely shake his hand.
He moves past almost to the point where it could not have possibly been a slight.
I will purposely put my hand in my pocket type of thing.
Okay.
So he doesn't even have to be remotely offended by it.
This was the most interesting conversation I've had this week, gentlemen. I do appreciate your time. Swishes the glass at you as the elevator door closes.
I will say happy hunting to him in Russian. Koroshi okoti.
Bottoms up. I'll finish my ale. Fill the bottle in the garbage on my way out.
And I will immediately hook up my earpiece to my tactical radio and turn it on and start scanning.
On the bottom of my bottle, I'm going to have one of my audio tags.
Okay. Did you leave one in the room?
Well, it's in the bottle, in the garbage, in the room.
All right. He makes some noises, plays with the dogs for a few minutes, does not immediately call or do anything suspicious or capitalize on some juicy bit of information that you've given him. Plays with the dogs for 10 minutes, orders dinner.
And I leave.
I'll stay with my partner.
So we're downtown London. We will find an pre-planned underground route that we will head to so that the rest of our team knows where to fall in behind us to cover us, and so we can all leave on the same train.
Yep. That all happens.
Okay. And we will exfil from London.
Easy enough. Private airstrip outside of Heathrow. Cobra uses for private personal planes. It's not an issue. Go back to the Azores.
Yep.
Okay. And you're back.
Woo-hoo. We will debrief on the way back.
I apologize for not creating some sort of mishap for the two that were guarding across the way. He's 90% just an information guy. So he didn't plan any active traps, and I very specifically did not have any, so you would maybe kind of sort of want to use him in the future.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not dead, so we can use him later on.
Just hope it wasn't too boring for you.
Oh, no, I was ready to toss my EMP bomb through the window to screw up his arm and eye.
Yeah. All right. So we've got that, but do we have any intel on the grounds layout, the castle layout, number of guards, anything like that, Eric?
Yes. You have some general satellite footage. You said the ground covers 40 acres.
Right.
There are about 400 people that regularly go in and out of the front gate. Drone footage shows that the layout of the estate basically mirrors all of his factories around the world, in that at one extreme of the facility, a massive hangar with adjacent helipad and landing strip accommodates all manner of land and air vehicles. The hangar includes rotating hydraulic cargo platforms, facilitating access to dozens of underground passageways. These allow engineers to deploy their tanks and aircrafts and the delivery of supplies to every point in the facility. Various labs produce future tech, and theoretical actualization separates Mars from other weapons manufacturers. There is rumor of a gold zone, which is like a fortified underground bunker where weapons testing can go on unabated and unrestrained. The hangar is the facility's hilt. The pedestrian entrance is the tip of the sword. With a narrow entrance for a few business partners who arrive by car, this area leads to the outer plants, the inner laboratories, and all the way to the hangar on the other end of the property. Although security increases the closer the path gets to the center of the facility. From the air, the layout of the organization basically resembles the McCullen family seal or flag.
Okay.
Their sizes vary. Mars factories share a common layout. Wide garage entrance for vehicles with a landing pad, a long and narrow corridor for pedestrian visitors on the opposite end, and concentric circles of plants and laboratories in between. From above, the buildings resemble the McCullen family coat of arms. Going in and out of the middle buildings, there's not too many people that enter and leave the castle over the course of the day. Like I said, probably 400 people total on site. Half of those, so say 200, are guards or security personnel. That includes a contingent of Iron Grenadiers.
So we've basically got non-military security guards, but then a company of dudes who are there to kill folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And robots.
Not your EMPs.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need EMP equipment. It is an add-on for weapons, I believe. So we're gonna want to look into that in the rule book.
And I was gonna give you guys a general challenge to study the loadout charts a little bit more, because you're 10th level. You should be able to regularly hit 25 or so, but no one's really going past restricted. And you guys should be basically regularly hitting prototypes and maybe even getting the odd unique weapon if you would like to push yourself that far. I'm just saying, it should be an option at this point.
That not for my character.
Yeah, I was going to say for my character also, my targeting is absolutely terrible, and this one wasn't developed. It was developed for infiltration and lying, not for gear.
Yes, sir. Right there with you. But dang it, we can get in there.
I just had to use 3 rolls to get a suit of armor that had +1 evasion.
Damn it, it looks good.
Oh yeah, looking great.
Do all those 400 people live on site, or do we know what type of breakup that's going to be?
Also about half and half, but different halves. So
Okay.
There's 200, I guess, factory workers and scientists and 200 security personnel. And of the two groups of 200, probably 100 of each live on site and 100 of each don't.
Okay.
The 100 of each that don't, do we know, is there like a mass transport where they get on site?
There's a train nearby, but it doesn't touch the property. A lot of people drive.
Okay, that was one question.
Well, if it's in remote Scotland, yeah, that would make sense. Unless the company has a bus that they would send out. Speaking of the remoteness, probably get a topographical map to look over for the surrounding areas.
Sure.
Probably, a radius out of 5 miles, just so that we've got an idea of what we're looking at. Are there any major waterways on property?
It's near the ocean, maybe 2 miles though.
That's fine. That could be an emergency exfil location. Okay. So we know we're going to need. What are the Iron Grenadiers known for regarding technology and equipment? If we're going up against those guys, what do we need to have that will penetrate their armor as well as defeat anything they throw at us? Are they just known for being high tech, or do they have something extremely special that they do?
They are known for shock and awe. They're heavily armored, heavily armed, and they kind of specialize. They're all heavy weapons guys. Half of them are probably like Vanguard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not really high tech. It's just a fight. Definitely need as much armor piercing stuff as you can get.
Well, is their armor typically bulky pieces of, Kevlar with iron plating, or are they wearing something that's like almost like a light version of like a bat, where it's augmented and has electronics built into it to help it with targeting, with throwing off camo sensors, things like that?
Being of Destro's men, I would assume the latter.
So we're going to want armor disguise, as it were, that will work against electronics, whether it makes us blurry or makes it so that they can't see us, or things that we could do to make it so that whatever they're using to see us short circuits. So flashbangs probably aren't going to do a lot for us, but EMP grenades are going to be good.
They have some armor. Concussion grenades won't do anything.
Yeah, but, and I'd have to look to see if they have anything like it, but an area effect weapon that would slow them down would also be good, because if they're that big and heavy, they may move at a slower rate, or we might be able to find a way to make them move at a slower rate.
We can actually do that.
Also, we probably need to research the technology they're using to see if you could develop a virus that you could insert into their system somehow that would help us override their defenses, their communication systems, turn off or convert the drones and robot guards to our side, and or do our dirty work for us.
Hey, okay, you were talking about slowing them down, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You do know that with a frag grenade, okay, it's a 10-foot radius, and on a miss, it makes the targeted area rough terrain.
That's fine. I was thinking more along the lines of quick hardening foam and things like that.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, game effect wise, they're probably similar.
I would assume these suits are slightly mechanized like an exoskeleton. I don't know how much they're gonna be slowed down. That's my only concern, that if we throw our eggs into that basket.
Oh, we can't throw our eggs into one basket. We're gonna have to have.
No.
I'd like to throw our eggs into as much lightning or electric trait weapons as possible.
Yeah.
Zappity zap.
And explosives.
Yeah. Just
EMP.
big explosive weapons, big effects, big stuff like that. Maybe even fire trait. If they're in big armor, then fire trait could be really valuable.
Yeah.
What kind of vehicle can we get there?
My guess is probably, an off-road Jeep or whatever. Do we have a GM ruling on that?
You have
Are we talking helicopter? Are we driving?
ground is probably the best. Aerial reconnaissance is pretty heavily guarded.
And keep in mind, we're not going to have an all-strike or anything like that.
Right.
We'll have access to Cobra vehicles.
Well, we don't necessarily even need a Cobra vehicle, although...
Trouble bubbles.
Come on now, it's cool time to use a rage.
Cobra vehicle out in the middle of nowhere is going to be less than, well... Eric, what kind of roll would I need to make to know if a Cobra vehicle would be out of place on site?
It'll probably be culture.
All right. I'm going to try for that.
Okay.
I'm terrible at it, so, culture... Only a 14.
Yeah. I mean, Destro manufactures a couple of vehicles for Cobra, but you don't know how closely they're tracked or anything that would be relevant to your question.
Could we get one of those vehicles?
Yeah.
Or, it doesn't have to be made by Mars Industries, but a Mars Industries lookalike is just as well.
Okay. I have access to several G.I. Joe experts. I can find out what Cobra vehicles Mars actually makes and make it possible to requisition such for the invasion.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the next question does Quetzalcoatl have anything he's throwing in with us, or is it just the four of us going in?
He could give you men to do a main assault, but that kind of ruins the idea of surprising everyone. And
That's fine.
Can our computer people find like archive footage or anything of the Iron Grenadiers in combat
I'm sure footage exists. Yes.
from anywhere?
Yeah, we should probably watch that.
That's what I'm thinking, to give us kind of a heads up of what we're dealing with to an extent.
Yeah.
Might answer a lot of the questions we're having.
Yeah, so we have in-game source.
Looks like the invasion itself is going to take place next session.
Yeah.
So I will say now that if you spend a story point when we start the next session, I'll give you an upshift bonus or Iron Grenadiers a downshift bonus when you encounter them.
Done.
You have to remember that because I'm not going to.
I'll put it in my game notes.
Okay. That represents basic research and the fact that you have access to some special research because you're G.I. Joe / ex-G.I. Joe.
Eric, something like a Cobra Diamondback or...
Maybe even a stinger?
Yeah, like a stinger would be fine.
Little Jeep thing?
Yeah. Just something that if it's seen while we're there, it's not an immediate red flag.
Sure. We'll plan on a stinger for now. If my research reveals a better vehicle that's built by Mars, I'll send out a message so you guys are aware of that.
Is there a chance we want to do like little jetpacks, Cobra gliders instead?
They have little jetpacks. Trouble bubbles are an option too.
I was about to ask about that.
How tall is the largest building?
On the grounds, it's the castle, which is basically 5 stories.
Okay.
I'm just thinking if we can fly in low.
Low would be more of the claw, wouldn't it?
The claw?
Yeah, if you wanted to fly in low.
Yeah, the claw's a little glider thing, right?
Yeah, jet hang glider.
Yeah, it's got jets on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was kind of thinking if we flew in on those.
Well, there is no wall around the estate. It's open. It's also just very clearly delineated where McCullen grounds start. The castle has a moat and maybe a 10-foot high wall around it. That's really the only nod to obvious defense anywhere on the grounds. You can walk onto the property just, out taking a stroll, but, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, but how would a claw play into that one guard shack? Or are we just skipping over that?
Well, that's what I was thinking, is we can get past the guard shack and then potentially have the claw accelerate us very rapidly to the wall or something like that. So then we can just store them, throw them away, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but Eric also said that it had a lot of aerial surveillance. So if you try to use a claw or something like that, you're liable to get spotted quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my thought is the stinger gets ditched somewhere along the way that, if we want to, we can get back to it.
Well, not just that. The Stinger also has a missile rack on top. So maybe those missiles could be configured to some kind of EMP type device.
Yeah, remote controlled and fired from the field.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here.
No, it's good. It's good. We would like to try to get some type of intelligence on how well they patrol or do not patrol the coastline, if that's on property.
Coastline is not on property.
Okay, so then I'd also like to research and see how hard it would be to have a vehicle.
We know the coastline's about 2 miles off property.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. That's the information we received.
That's what we were told. Hey, you said that there's a train. Where is that train, in comparison to the property?
Okay, give me just a second. I'll draw you a little map.
And so are we planning just a full frontal assault? Are we going to sneak in? What exactly is our game plan exactly?
I think we're going to have to as much as possible.
Yeah, you got 2 spies, which is not helping our situation right now, unless we sneak.
Which, if we take that guard shack, we can potentially get outfits for all of us.
Yes.
Costume party.
Whoop, whoop. And when I'm talking about maybe put a buried boat on the shoreline, I'm talking about like a Zodiac or something like that. Not something big, but something we could unbury really quick and get out to sea.
Okay, there's the map.
Okay. Get that train schedule as well, Eric.
Yeah.
There is a small village 3 or 4 miles due east of the guard shack, so off of the spiral edge of the notebook, that has like 2 pubs and the train station stop that the employees use.
That is another option for us, would be for 2 of us to try to get ID badges, etc., copy all of that information, and the two of us could also potentially already be on site as employees, or try to get on site beforehand as employees to scout out the property.
Maybe to scout out, but if we're planning on taking that guard shack, which I think is a good idea, it's going to take all four of us.
Aren't there only 3 guards?
A minimum of 3, said.
Okay, that's fine. In which case, we'll then have ID cards, etc.
Yes. So one thing, notice you're talking about a secondary escape by way of the ocean. We need to make sure we know a train schedule too, because we don't want to be heading toward the ocean and get stopped by a train.
Right. That's why I said make that train schedule.
That's why we hop on the train then.
Right.
Have you ever seen an old Western? It's super easy to do, I hear.
Yeah.
Not so easy.
We need horses.
Depends on what kind of train it is too, though.
It's a bullet train.
Not so easy to hop onto a bullet train.
Maybe that's how Storyteller lost his arm, grabbing onto a train.
You never know.
And we'll never know.
Man, that could have been one of your questions.
I know, I wasted it on the dog question.
Dog questions are never a waste.
That's
Eric.
Yo.
What intel do we have on other crazy Cobra leaders?
Yeah, basic files on everybody that you are all basically familiar with as members of G.I. Joe, but specific patterns and weaknesses are probably not included, or you guys would have capitalized on that a long time ago.
that we got information from
Right.
Pericol about them.
But, I mean, are people like Blood still around?
No.
Mindbender or Crystal Ball?
Throw that out the Raptor.
I'll throw your Raptor. He is actually, let's tie him in. He's an old man. He's in his late 70s, but he is essentially in charge of aerial security at the McCullen estate. None of the other peripherals. Major Blood died a long time ago. The other 2 people that you threw out before we got to Raptor, they're all dead, and they've been replaced by people. Mindbender died a long time ago, but they have been replaced by even better people like Dr. Vermin, who's a state-of-the-art virologist / creator of monsters.
I'm guessing Captain Planet took out Cesspool.
Probably. Is that one crossover?
Do we have any intel on the new generation and which of them hate the McCullens the most? Or who would threaten the McCullens the most? I'm just teasing this out right now. I'm not going anywhere specific.
Yeah.
Well, the Crimson Guard, the twins, never had a good relationship with Destro.
That's true.
But yeah, you know the Gestalt exists. Dr. Vermin exists. Monkey Wrench is a new guy, but he doesn't seem to work for Destro. You've never encountered any Iron Grenadiers. You don't, other than Andrew is vaguely in charge. You don't really know a lot about them beyond what the basic G.I. Joe files have. Billy keeps his organization pretty well under wraps because, he's a ninja. So, no. Other than the people that you've met already, you really don't know about the new generation of guys.
Okay. All right.
Well, clearly now I got to make him a thing. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Huh?
Raptor.
Aaron posted a picture of Raptor, so now I got to make him a thing.
That white boy needs to die.
I got Raptor here, a picture of my son above Darkseid and the Baroness.
I was going to say, but Darkseid can stay out of the story. We don't need to try to fight him.
Yeah. We're not doing that kind of crossover.
I don't know if Eric's introducing My Little Ponies. You never know.
No, there will be no ponies in this game.
Bronies? Can we have bronies?
You guys shot down Transformers and Power Rangers, so I'm not stooping that low. The only thing we're using My Little Ponies for is the possibility of magic.
And we can have bronies for target practice. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for weaknesses and distraction points and things like that.
Yeah. Destro's nearing, he doesn't have any. I mean, other than the fact that he's 90 years old, he's eliminated all the weaknesses from his policies and his procedures and his life.
That's fine. That's what we should expect.
Yeah. I mean, he's a bad guy. There's always something, but there's nothing readily available to general inquiry.
Oh, there is. It's Baroness. If we had a way to target her, we'd be halfway to being done.
That's a possible avenue. I'm just saying, nowadays, she's rarely more than, 20 feet away from Destro.
Yeah, and that's why it's not really something we can leverage. Sorry. Something to think about for now.
Right. So We can do endless plotting and planning. I think you guys have the general gist of the difficulties in front of you. So yeah, I guess we'll call it here.
Yeah.
And next session, we'll go straight into the requisition phase, and then we'll start the invasion, and I will force decisions from you that you will come to regret by the end of the next session.
Thank you for listening in to this adventure. Join us bi-weekly as the battle against Cobra continues. Also, listen to the other G.I. Joe shows on this network. G.I. Joe, a Real American Headcast, covers the original adventures of the Real American Hero team, both the Larry Hama comic and the Sunbow cartoon. Then, over on Bravo Team, General Head and Articulated Chad look at all the other aspects of the G.I. Joe universe. G.I. Joe and all related characters and names are trademarked by Hasbro. We at the Headcast Network claim no rights of ownership other than our thoughts presented. Everything else is owned by Hasbro. We're just really big fans sharing our love of G.I. Joe. Check out the G.I. Joe comics from Marvel Comics, Devil's Due Publishing, and currently IDW Publishing. And if you're enjoying the game we're playing, why don't you check out RenegadeGamestudios.com, buy the game, and play with your friends. And remember to join us in 2 weeks as the adventure continues. Hey, Joes, they're head back at you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of G.I. Joe Adventures Continue. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. This, if you've been following me on Facebook, seen that posted elsewhere. But this will be the last episode, G.I. Joe Adventure Continue. Sadly, we're going to call it quits here. During the holidays, things kept coming up between the holidays and work, and we kind of had to delay things. And eventually the game. So unfortunately, we won't see what happens with Hardman and the rest of the gang at this juncture. But fear not, your listeners, as Utua, the Watcher, and I probably mispronounced the Watcher from Marvel may say, when one door closes, another door opens. As the Watcher knows, there are many different universes out there. Well, we may not know what happens on the assault on Destro's Island, and do our Joes ever get back in the graces of G.I. Joe? Well, we'll leave that up for your imagination. And imagine if the rest of the clear their name, they wipe out Cobra. Again, that's for your imagination to figure out at this point. Unfortunately, this show is coming to an end. But fear not, listener. While the door closes on this version of Hardman, we do open up their door. Coming soon, Headcast Net and part of G.I. Joe American Headcast. To work out planning, we will have a new adventure. Coming soon, G.I. Joe, the Energon Protocol. I think that's what I'm calling the Energon Protocol. As you may know, Skybound, an imprint of its Image Comics, now has the license to G.I. Joe. And while they've continued the Real American Hero story, which we're going to be covering still in my main show, they've also got an Energon universe where they've got the trans G.I. Joe kind of combined. They've released the Cobra Commander and the Duke miniseries by now, and they've got a Transformers series, and releasing, as I record this, they're kind of the Scarlet miniseries and it's a Destro miniseries, and we're hoping that spins off into a regular G.I. Joe series within the Energonverse. But even though, like I said, the Adventures Continues is now over, Energon Protocols will be picking up in the next couple. Yes, we have started playing again. There's 2 games going. There's in real life on one Monday. Every other Monday, there's a Transformers game, which I'm not a part of. And then other Mondays, there is the G.I. Joe game, which I am a Hardman. I have recreated him. He has come back. So we have Hardman back with a few other characters, starting out a new group of G.I. Joes. Unlike the last game, this one taking place in the future of the G.I. Joe universe, or our present. This is our present. But this is in the Energon universe where the G.I. Joe team is just now full. So pay attention to this very spot. And in the next couple of months, we'll have G.I. Joe, the Energon Protocol. Eric, our game master. As I said, I created Hardman for a new universe, a sample to the G.I. Joe action, I guess, along with some new. Coming soon. The Headcast Net. Watch for it. You guys in tagging along this far. Sorry for delays, but life happens, unfortunately. Listen to the main show, G.I. American Headcast, and the sister show, brother show, Bravo Team. Right now we're in battle and the special missions. Until next time, knowing is half the Jojo.